Hello, and thank you for joining me for It's Great to Meet You. You're in for a treat today as I chat with Wes Mullins, Executive Director of Capital City Pride. We'll get a sense for how complex the planning is for Iowa's largest Pride Fest. Wes breaks through the Hy-Vee Fairway grocery store binary. We practice radical welcoming by way of supporting Wes's right to drink Coke Zero in peace without judgment. And you'll hear from him and me about some upcoming events to support. It's Great to Meet You is a production of the First Unitarian Church of Des Moines. At First Unitarian, we love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. Unitarian Universalism is a pluralistic religious tradition, meaning we don't have a dogmatic statement of belief. Rather, we covenant with one another to put love at the center of our actions. We recognize the inherent worth and dignity of everyone and our interconnectedness with one another. And so our justice work seeks to affirm that worth for all people. If you think all people should be able to flourish and you believe your spiritual journey is less about dogma and more about how you treat one another in the world, you might be a UU. Let's get to the show. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me on It's Great to Meet You, the show where we meet the good people of Des Moines out there doing the good work. I'm your host, the Reverend Steve Seek, and I serve as the minister at First Unitarian Church of Des Moines. Today, we have the pleasure to talk with Wes Mullins, Executive Director of Capital City Pride. Wes, it's great to meet you.
It's an honor to be here. Thanks for having me.
Wes, tell us about your work with Capital City Pride.
Yeah, so most people in town know Capital City Pride for the big event of Pride Fest itself. Tens of thousands of people there each year. It's the largest LGBTQ event in the state of Iowa annually. But Capital City Pride does a lot all year round. We focus all of our programs on building community, creating joy, and a sense of belonging. So those are our main sort of missional goals, to try to make sure that we make Iowa the best place to live possible for LGBTQ people, especially here in central Iowa. We do that around four main pillars of programming. So we have programs for families, educational programs, health and wellness programs, and then community building programs. And so in the course of a year, we do about 100 of those programs. And the best thing to do if you're interested in just finding connection and belonging through Capital City Pride is just go to our website, where we keep all those upcoming events listed. So,
wow, that's fantastic. Well, let's start with the part that, as you said, a lot of people recognize the organization's work with. Tell us about Pride Fest. What can folks expect? When in the year should they set the calendar for that?
Yeah, Pride Fest is always held on the second weekend of June. So it's easy to look that up and find us. Next year in 2026, that'll be June 12 through 14. Pride Fest is sort of designed on purpose to have a little bit of everything to make sure that it's a place for everyone in the community. So we try to make sure that as diverse as we can make it, we make it diverse in that way, so that whatever your interests are in whatever part of the LGBTQ community or ally community that you come from, when you come to Capital City Pride, you see yourself and you see others like you and find community. It is one of the highest things that we get in our survey each year, is that people just love the experience of the loving and welcoming community that they experience at Pride Fest. But we do have, the Pride Stride for the folks that want to do a running event. There's the pet pageant for those who have their four-legged friends that they want to bring to Pride. The Pride Parade, the festival grounds itself, the kids zone, the teen zone, the health and wellness zone. There's just a lot of different components to the event. So it is, from the outside, I think a lot of people look at it and just say it's a festival. For us planning it, there's so many events inside that festival that we spend the whole year getting ready for all these different components.
Yeah, I can hear, even as you describe those events, that you're looking at supporting families, that you're looking at supporting education and health and wellness, and those pillars that you had listed before. So it sounds like it's more than just a permit. Yeah.
Yeah, and literally you just nailed it. Like our four pillars that drive our programming year round are also built into the event itself on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about how your programs, you said you have over 100 programs. Where might someone in Des Moines get involved, let's say, with health and wellness or community building?
Yeah, so with health and wellness, we have a focus on a lot of like getting your body moving type of events. They do air towards the time of year where it's easier to get outside with those.
Sure.
During the winter time, we do events that are largely focused around like local sporting teams and doing pride nights and that sort of thing, so that we can do something inside. Um, but th this past year, for the first time, we just started our Pride Ride, which, embracing Des Moines biking culture, we decided to add a biking event and had about 150 riders for our first year doing that. So that'll be back next year and probably around every year after that. Um, we don't really have a place on our website permanently where it lists like all the annual events, which might be something we should add because a lot of them do recur. But we have the ones that are coming up that registration's open for and that sort of thing constantly listed. Um, the same thing with the community events. A lot of those they do recur. Like we always do a Broadway sing-along event at Noche on Martin Luther King weekend. Like that happens
Hmm.
every year, but we don't publicize it except as it's approaching, you know. But there again, those community events take different shape to try to attract folks that are looking for different types of events to find community and sort of find their people. So that Broadway sing-along is an example of that. Like for those who are interested in Broadway and in musicals and theater, there's a great event. This year we're adding for the first time some singles dating mixer events, which we've never done before, drag events, bingo nights. There's a variety of different programs under the community pillar that are really just lots of different fun events around different interest areas to try to help people connect.
I'm picking up that sense of joy as a thread as well throughout the organization. Can you speak more about that? I have a feeling that's part of the mission.
It is, and to me, there's so many reasons right now in the world to despair, um, that it's important for some local organization to put finding a ways to thrive in life and to experience joy as a main component of their mission. And that fits the best, I think, with Capital City Pride. When Iowa has a really tall task right now to do the advocacy work and the lobbying at the legislative level, that's not our work, right? That we're going to support that. We're going to amplify when they say come. Capital City Pride is going to turn around to all of our followers and say go, right?
Yeah.
Um, but we're going to support what one I was already doing in that space rather than try to do it as well. And that's where I feel like our work to sort of, in the midst of some of that terrible legislation and some of the things that are happening, to provide places to gather, to create queer and safe spaces where we can experience joy is really, really important. And to me, maybe going a little too far, I think it's also life-saving because I believe that isolation leads to loneliness and despair, which can lead to suicidal ideation and like all the things that could happen that I want to try to make sure we're doing everything we can to prevent.
Well, I appreciate you sharing how, as you said, that when I was doing the advocacy piece and we were bringing the community building and the joy, I think that that's certainly in ministry as well. There's where are you filling your cup and where are you offering from your cup, right? And so making sure that there is a space where we can, where folks can be seen and felt a deep sense of belonging. I'm picking that
Absolutely.
up. Yeah.
And Steve, you know that in my background, I spent 20 years as a minister of LGBTQ churches around the country. And so there is a piece of this that does connect to that work that I did in churches where you're also trying to create, places of belonging and a sense of joy and hope. So like, it's not totally dissimilar to the work of the church in just a different model of creating community.
Yeah. So how can the Des Moines community help Capital City Pride in this work?
I think that continue to have to work to make people aware that there are these other programs. So, you know, as you hear people talking about struggling to find connection or whatever, making sure that they realize that there are all these other programs outside of Pride Fest as opportunities for that. Obviously, people can make donations, but there's lots of great organizations. So make donations to the one you care about. We'd love to have your dollars if you believe in that right now. It is important right now as corporations are pulling back from us. And when I say us, I mean all LGBTQ organizations in town that we've all talked, we're all experiencing it. So if you're looking for an important place to put your dollars as an individual right now, I would suggest any of our local LGBTQ organizations for that. Um, and then always volunteering. We have a constant page up on our site for volunteers, and the need that we have varies through the year, and of course is tremendous during Pride Fest. We can never find enough volunteers at Pride Fest. This year we did it with about 200 volunteers. Our ideal version is 400. So there's never a person who wants to volunteer for Pride Fest that I would say no to.
I hear you. I hear you. So it sounds like find the programs, fund the programs, and show up to help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Wes, it's been great to hear about the organization, but I think a lot of the folks who get to work with you would love to hear more about you. So we're going to do a speed round of questions here. What is your favorite place to eat in the Des Moines area?
My new favorite place to eat just opened up. It's called the Flamingo Lounge. It's down in South City, Norwalk area. It's really, really good, and it's got a super cool vibe. The design inside is gorgeous. You've got to check it out.
I will. Where's your favorite place to go outdoors in the Des Moines metro?
Gray's Lake. That's near our house, and I'd love to just go walk or bike around there.
Hmm. And what about indoors?
My favorite place to go indoors. Uh, Gosh, that I don't know. That's hard. It's a speed round. To a movie theater. I love to see movies.
All right, I'm still uncommitted. What is your favorite grocery store?
Um, Instacart.
I love
Not
that for you.
having to go to the grocery store is my favorite grocery store.
Yeah, all right, you heard it here first. Okay. And then, Wes, do you have any particular affiliation or preference for the Cyclones, Hawkeyes, Bulldogs, or Panthers?
I have been quite taken with Caitlin Clark, and so she made me into a fan of the Hawkeyes.
All right. Wes, we have a jar of questions from the children here at First Unitarian, so I'm never quite sure what I'm going to pull up. This one's a doozy. This came from the kids. Where do people go when they die?
Wow, that is a doozy. Um, Thought about it a lot. Um, my belief is that we return back to the earth from which we came. And so that um, our atoms disperse. We do not actually ever go completely away, but we change form.
I love that. So the conservation of energy.
There
Yeah.
you go. Conservation of energy. Yeah.
Okay, the staff at the First Unitarian has a delightful sense of humor, and so I ask them to give us a challenge each time we have a podcast. This is the challenge for you and I, Wes. Create a new
Mhm.
holiday and describe how people would celebrate it.
Oh, create a new
Let me
holiday.
let that one set in for a minute. Create a new holiday and how would people celebrate it?
Okay. So I'm sitting here drinking a like 48-ounce Coke Zero, which causes me to think about how some people would tell me to stop doing that. And Lent is a Christian tradition around the season of Easter, Ash Wednesday, where people are constantly trying to give things up. And so, what if we created a holiday that was the opposite of that, where for one day, just indulge in the things that you enjoy and like tell everybody else to just shut up about it for a day? How about that? Like, get off
So,
my back. I'm
so
just trying to survive.
like a deeper dive into Mardi Gras, right? Yeah. Well, but what I'm hearing from you is that like no judgment attached. Like whatever the
Exactly.
thing.
Yes. Yeah. Like,
Okay.
stop trying to like meddle in other people's choices. Just a day to say, like, you do you today, and nobody's going to say anything.
All right. This is a working title, and you tell me if you like this. It
Okay.
sounds like "Don't Yuck My Yum."
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
It's a little bit like the most popular book on the New York Times right now, I think, is Mel Robbins' "Let Them" theory. It's a little bit like just like let it go. Do you, you let them, let me, right? You're
Right.
gonna do you, I'm gonna do me.
Is there anything that you want to promote, any upcoming events or ways to get involved that we can send our listeners out with?
Our next big thing that we have coming up is our Storytellers Night, which is modeled after the Moth Storytelling Podcast, where we tell stories on a theme. And we're doing a podcast. We're talking a little bit about myself. This is a chance where anybody in town who has a part of their story that they want to share, who is from the LGBTQ community, can do that. So I would welcome anyone who, all of us have stories to share. So if you have a story you're willing to share, to just shoot an email to education@capitalcitypride.org, and you can see if we can get you set up to be one of the speakers this year. The event's happening on November 13th. We hire a speaking coach to help you get ready, so you don't have to worry about nerves and all that. We'll help make sure you feel comfortable. And the event is held at the Temple Theater downtown.
Okay, so just to recap, we're talking about November 13th at the Temple Theater downtown. So even if you didn't want to share your own story, but you wanted to support the storytelling,
There you go.
that's
Yeah.
November 13th. And if you are thinking that you might have a story to share, education@capitalcitypride.org.
And you got to
And
send that email by the 15th of October.
by October 15th. Okay.
Yep.
Are you sending the story then, or are you sending the I'm interested?
Either get in touch with
Okay.
us and we eventually will want to hear a little bit of what the story is, but start off by just letting us know you're interested. Yeah.
That is beautiful. And I'm going to promote while I've got the mic on here that the October 19th Des Moines Marathon, I'm running it as a fundraiser and I'm looking for as many $26.20 donations as I can to go to the Iowa Trans Mutual Aid Fund.
Oh,
The
that's
Iowa
awesome.
Trans Mutual Aid Fund supports gender affirming care in the state of Iowa. So please find your way to the Iowa Trans Mutual Aid Fund. I think that's itmaf.org, and give $26.20 or $13.10 or however you want to sponsor it that way. Well, Wes Mullins, it is great to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us today and keep on doing the good work.
Thanks, Steve.
And that does it for us today. Thank you all for joining us. Keep doing the good work, Des Moines.